What's up, everybody? Welcome to another class in this channel. So today I have a 30-minute yin yoga class for you, and let's just get started. 2 blocks are always super helpful. Bring a strap if you have it, or a belt or something like that, a kitchen towel, or a towel. And if you have a blanket, I highly recommend a blanket too. I don't think I'm going to be cueing a blanket, but yeah, and let's just get started. So we're gonna come to your back, and you'll take the legs all the way forward. And yeah, just come to your back. If you want, you can put your feet on the floor. Knees will come to touch, arms behind you, and you can let one hand rest on top of the other. And here we're going to breathe. And yeah, maybe this is just the first pose. Pause you take today. So really let your body soften. So the bones, the elbows, the shoulders, the lower back, fingers, toes, base of the neck, eyebrows. And then start visualizing if you want. This is just how I like to create space before I start my yin practices. Usually I notice how my body is feeling. And then if I feel good about it, I continue to go deeper. And then I check in with my heart. How is my heart feeling? And then the mind, noticing the content of the mind. Maybe noticing how the critical self is showing up today. It's like, even though we're one person and we have this persona, and essentially we use it to connect to others, and yeah, we try our best to be ourselves. There are so many versions of us, and yeah, the invitation is to hold space for all of those parts of us, even if some of them feel dark, and maybe negative, or even if we don't like those parts of us. Right here we hold space for all of those versions, including who we were as children and who we were as teenagers, and if we were maybe, let's say, insecure, or yeah, whatever it is that we struggle with. We get to see all of those parts of us, and with grace, compassion, healing, acceptance, we create space for them. And then go ahead and keep your feet open, so feet on top of the edges of your mat. If you're not there yet, drop knees to right side, keep the arms behind you. You can look towards the right and just feel that nice compression that you're creating on the right glute, and also the rotation, breathing into the side of your body. If this is your first yin class, just letting you know that yin is a powerful practice, but we're focused on targeting the connective tissue right here, and really cultivating that special or so precious flow of chi through your meridians. So we create maybe a 3, a 4, or a 5 of sensation in each one of our poses. We use props. We hold poses for 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes a teeny bit more. But the idea is that we create sensations and the different areas of the body that are connected to those meridians to really get chi flowing through them. And then all meridians are connected to an organ. And at the same time, these are connected to a season and nature in general, and to our emotions as well. So there is a lot of psychology and healing in a practice like yin and meditation, because you're going to learn a lot about yourself and a lot about how you see life and how you perceive others too. And hopefully we'll get to release some of that old information that is not really serving us, not because we want to change it or push it away, but just to create less suffering and more freedom. Right, slowly we'll come back to center. Knees will point up to the ceiling. And then from here, keep the left foot right where it is. Just cross your right foot on top, your right ankle on top of your left thigh bone. And then pick up your left foot. And then right here, if you need a visual, just take a look at your screen right here. But essentially, you're going to move the left foot out to your left. So some rotation in your thigh bone. And then take it towards the right knee. So the right leg is not really moving. You'll feel this more in your left hip. So you're driving the left foot out to your left and then taking it towards the right side. And you'll feel the left glute right now activating. I'm trying my best to keep the knees over the hip joint or in alignment with the hip joint, the tailbone on the floor, and then just really rotating out and in. And then go out one more time. Maybe this one won't have a lot of rotation, and that's okay. We come back to center and then drive your knees into your chest, interlace your hands in front of your left leg, and really soften your toes. And then see if you can just kind of like wiggle from side to side so that you can remove or like move through some tissues and fluids as you drive your knees into your chest. And think of driving almost like figure eights with the lower back. So you transfer the weight to the right and to the left until you find that spot that feels good. So we're breathing, we're softening the shoulders, and you can also close your eyes if that feels okay. So we're here creating maybe like a 3, a 4 of sensation. And then in yin, we have different principles. So we hold poses for 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes a teeny bit more, or we can do 90 seconds. And then we also find our edge that it's going to change every single time you come back to your mat. And then we hold for some time, looking to tap into not only the physicality of your body, but releasing, healing, creating the space, feeling our emotions, noticing our natural tendency to move into the next thing, or the natural tendency of the mind to create the answers, to hustle, to get somewhere. And here, the invitation is just to soften, to pause, to breathe, which is easier said than done, but it can definitely transform lives. So let the practice right here nourish you. We notice the natural tendency to check out. I don't think falling asleep in yin is a bad thing, but see if you can be here and still be okay with being present with your eyes closed, noticing something. It can be a form of just checking out, and it's okay if we're too tired and if we need to soften and rest. But see if also you can be okay with this presence, knowing that this is not a practice where we hustle, but rather we notice, we receive, we breathe, and we begin again. As slowly as you can, release your left foot, bring it all the way down to the floor, place it on the mat, and then uncross the right leg. And here we're going to take a rebound pose. So again, open your feet, drop your knees to the right, and we're going to do something slightly funky here. Just with your left hand, push the floor away so that you can come up into the right elbow, right? So I'm doing right elbow on the floor, knees towards the left. I'm flexing my toes. And then here, if you can, 2 blocks are going to be super helpful. We're going to do some MFR on the right side of your body. So I'm doing level 2 in my 2 blocks. And then I'll try to bring my side body towards the blocks and then put my elbow down and put my head on the blocks. So this is a pretty interesting stretch from the front of your left hip right here. So essentially a deer pose variation. You can walk your left knee as far away from you as you need if you want to feel it more on the front of your left hip. Let's see if you can drop the left hand and focus on closing your eyes so that, again, it's not a muscular practice that is just like breathing and creating ujjayi breath and all of that fired, which, again, I'm so open to creating yin from time to time. But also noticing that here we're not forcing, we're just allowing, which is definitely a great quality for the brain, great quality to develop. Be here for a few moments. Continue to breathe or send breath, or imagine that you're sending breath to the lower belly and the front of your left hip, softening hip flexors, and also noticing how with your breath you can move the energy in your abdomen as well, because the diaphragm moves all the way down and then up, so you can really massage the hips and create the space for the breath to help you with digestion, or if you have your period with that type of pain as well. So really softening, breathing to create the space and maybe let something go. Letting discomfort go, letting expectations go. Sometimes we're too focused on how we want a class to look, or how we want to feel, or how we want our day to go, and it's just totally out of our control. So can we just be okay with all of those versions of ourselves, hold space for them? Even if I don't like her, she's here, and it's very likely that she's going to keep coming back. Maybe like she won't come back in like 20 years, but there will be times when I'm just, okay, Ingrid, you're here. What is it? How can I help you today? What can I learn from you? Let's just be together. Let's just explore how we feel and understand why you're here. All right, and then press your left hand down, press your right hand down, push the floor away, and take a moment right here. So I'm pressing my palms down into the floor, still leaning towards the right shoulder, just to pause. So feel that for a second. Not only the side body stretch, but what's happening in your abdomen. And then I'm going to go this way to keep facing the camera, but you can face the front of your mat. So I'm going to make my way into my half pigeon or swan pose, which is the name of the pose when we practice it in the yin. But essentially, I'm doing right leg forward, left leg back, and then I'm going to get my 2 blocks. I'm going to take this variation that we practiced not so long ago, but I really love it. So I'm going to do 1 block for my temple, level 3, right in front of the right knee, and another block for the right side of my body. So thread the needle right underneath one of those 2 blocks. Make sure you can let the side body rest on the second block, and you thread the right arm, let the right palm face up to the ceiling, and you can bring your left elbow to the right forearm for an acupressure point right there. And you can even massage the left forearm with your elbow if you want right here, and kind of like move the fingers to create some release in the wrist. So really with the elbow, create tiny circles in the meaty part of your forearm, not so much close to the wrist. If it feels like fibers, you went too far. So go more forward the area below the elbow, and then create the height of the elbow, and then create some circles. And then you can move the fingers, open and close your hand, and then go ahead and release and rest in the pose for a few moments. And then start to press your left palm into the floor. Release the right arm. Come into a tall swan pose or half pigeon. Maybe peel the chest open. Breathe for a moment. And then we'll press the right hamstring on the floor, on the mat. Sway the left leg forward. And then just pause for a second. I'm going to switch and face the back of my mat just because I want you to see what I'm doing. But you can just come back to your back, legs forward, and just pause. Feel the right side of your body. You can stay upright. You can fold slightly forward. You can come to your back. I'm actually going to do that. So I'll come to my back with my feet on the mat, feet on top of the edges of my mat, and then knees to touch. So constructive rest right here. And yeah, we breathe again. And then go ahead and drop your knees. So keep your feet open. Drop your knees to the left side. If you want, you can do arms behind you and look over the left shoulder. Again, we start to create all the sequence on this side. So giving ourselves the time to know that the body can totally be different on the right and left side. We can go to other places in our minds. Sometimes poses are connected to emotions, and maybe you're using muscles that you haven't used in a long time. So knowing that you can modify, that you can put your knees on blocks. It's not about going all the way in or pushing through anything or compromising your breath. It's more about creating an expression that you can hold, knowing that we just want a gentle sensation in front of those tissues that we're targeting, so that we can target those meridians. Right, and then keep your feet on the floor, bring your knees back to point towards the ceiling, and then we're going to do the same variation here, or your half pigeon. So cross your left ankle over the right thigh bone and flex your toes, pick up your right foot, and then think knees over hip joint, and then move the right leg out to the right, and then in towards the left knee. So feel that rotation. Notice how that engages your glutes, the rotators of the hips. So you're moving in and out. You may be pausing as you go out and really challenge your mobility here in a gentle way, though. It doesn't have to be, a word that it's like, okay, let's just challenge. It's a gentle sensation. All right, the next time you come back to center, put your foot down, feel the right quadriceps, the right leg, and then you uncross the left leg, and we're gonna do again, you're gonna turn your chest here towards the left side. So bring your right palm, place it right in front of your chest, drop the knees to the left, push the floor away, and we're gonna push the floor away and get our 2 blocks. So this time we're gonna place the left side of the body on our 2 blocks. And then we're gonna try to bring the rib cage and maybe side of the abdomen or the area below the armpit to the 2 blocks with the left elbow on the floor right there. And really, again, knowing that we can walk the right leg as far back as we need it to be. And then the right hand can be on the floor for extra support. And then just breathe here for a few moments. You can always rock forward and back just to create an extra massage on the lats too, or the muscles of your rib cage. You want to rock a teeny bit. You find some tender areas right there. If you go super deep close to the abdomen, you won't find that. So we're thinking rib cage. So just be mindful of that. We're thinking rib cage and armpit area. And the further away you walk the elbow from the blocks, the more you're going to feel this. And then you pause and breathe. Notice the natural tendency of the mind to go somewhere else. Like, okay, I have to do that later. So then it becomes like a game of like, okay, I'm here, but I'm not really here because I'm thinking of like the grocery shopping list or something that I have to get done at work tomorrow, things like that. Can you be here and just focus on the sensation that you're creating and focusing on breath? And maybe exploring, what you were thinking of, and uncoding that tendency, because it might feel something just as, okay, I'm always thinking of work, but what are we hiding behind that? It's just like, are we trying to numb ourselves and just focus on something so superficial? There are other emotions here. Maybe knowing that we're associating our value with our productivity. Can we just be okay with this rest that we're creating, and knowing that there are times for us to work and create and produce money and, do all of those things? But here is also important to take care of our energy and try not to multitask, but rather being here for ourselves. Press your right hand into the floor and gently push the floor away. And then you pause in that twist that you're creating to feel the left side of your body, the front of your right hip. Noticing the energy moving through the side of the neck, maybe crown of your head. And then we're going to make our way into upright. Extend the right leg all the way. So you're creating a swan pose, or what we also know as half pigeon. And I'm going to do one block in front of the left knee for my temple, another block in front of my leg for my rib cage. So thread the needle, left arm towards your left foot, bring the side body or the armpit towards the second block, and the tallest block is for your head. And it's okay if the right leg lifts slightly. You're compressing more the IT band here, the rib cage, and breathing into the left side of your body. Try to soften the right side of your neck though, and the right shoulder and the right fingertips. If you want to add the MFR point here, just do right elbow onto that meaty part of your forearm and maybe go circles forward and back, and you move the fingers to feel that nice massage also on the left wrist. Go one way, go the other. Yeah, and maybe it's like forearm to forearm. That's also okay. And then find stillness for a few moments. Noticing that the flow of chi can be local, but essentially all of those meridians are connected. So also noticing how your chi flows through fingers and forearm and shoulder, and side body in front of your hip and inside of the leg. So maybe notice the trajectory of some of your meridians here. It's a very special practice. Right, press your right palm into the floor. You're going to push the floor away. Come back to an upright position. Maybe you move from side to side to counter. And then press your left hamstring on the floor. Sway the right leg forward. And we're going to take a final pose. So this is a Katona yoga variation for your bridge pose. I really love this variation, but I understand that not everybody might like it because it could have a lot of sensation in the lower back. So we're gonna come forward a supported bridge pose. I'm gonna take it with my blocks. at level 3. So tallest setting of my 2 blocks. That's what I'm gonna do. You can also do this setting, smallest setting, medium setting, or tallest setting. So totally up to you. Level 1, 2, or 3. Either way, I'm using 2. So you could do 1, 2, or then 3, like that. So I'm coming to my back, and then put your feet on the floor, and then taking my time to place my 2 blocks underneath my sacrum. Okay, so give yourself a moment to align the 2 blocks and feel steady right here. And yeah, just notice the freedom this is giving you and your psoas and hip flexors. And just be here. You can put your hands on your hips. You can put your hands on the floor. Just breathe into the front of your hips and see this as an opening. So a pose that is really allowing you to not only create the space but release the old. And the answers probably won't come right away. And that's why we always invite you to keep bringing yoga back to your life, because it takes so much exploration of the self, of ourselves, and doing so much self-study and pratyahara, creating the space and the compassion to go to those places in our minds. Some of them can be, let's just be honest, they're going to be dark, and it's going to be challenging to see those parts of ourselves that maybe we've been hiding or regretting, or just we're just like pushing them away, like, okay, you don't exist, but they actually exist, and they are usually linked to more. So it takes compassion to go back to explore those parts of us, and then knowing that we're planting seeds and we don't have to have the answers right away. And every single practice is just a new opportunity to get back to that reality and maybe see, oh, this is what I'm trying to hide here, but this is what's actually happening here. So can I maybe try this or this mantra, or can I try this behavior when that happens? Because I know that this is what it takes for me to feel balanced and to heal. Many times for me, the answer is just to be here, to stay, to be okay with what is, to be okay with what I'm doing, to know that I'm enough, that I have nothing else to prove, that showing up with what I have is plenty. Also knowing when I'm not believing in myself enough, when I'm stealing from myself the possibility to shine, to create, to reach out to those that I love, or to create those projects that I want to create. And things like that. Knowing when we're kind of like betraying ourselves by just believing the BS, and those limiting beliefs, or being too negative, or looking to control too much, or trying to control others. So, with a lot of honesty and compassion, seeing all of those versions, and know when we have to soften, or would we have to maybe bring in more repetition and discipline, and know that we can, and see what's right there for us to either receive or let go of. If you want more, if you're okay right there, stay right there. If you want more, and you place your blocks at your level 3, bring your feet in, and maybe you bring the right knee into your chest, the left knee into your chest. And here, Just make sure that your lower back is still resting on the blocks. And one at a time, I'm going to trying to bring the top of my right foot down and the top of my left foot down. So this is going to give you more sensation. Now, tilt your block slightly forward. So one edge of your block will lift up, and then you're thinking of your quads. So, in a very gentle way, though, we're driving slightly forward to feel this more on the hip flexor area. But this is really going to help your digestion because it's going to release tension in your psoas. If this is a lot, just keep your blocks on the floor and press the top of your feet on the mat. And you can bring your heads to your heels and catch your heels right here. If you have a lower body injury or a lower back injury, and you just want to go for restorative bridge, level one, just level one, it's enough. I've built the strength to come into this variation, and my body really enjoys this, especially when I'm on my period or when I'm feeling pretty tight in my hips. So this feels very good and freeing. We'll take a few more breaths. But you know your body to just, do what serves you. And then if your blocks are tilted forward, just bring your blocks back to a flat position. One at a time, release your feet. So bring the top of your feet back onto floor. Lift the hips slowly. And then slowly use the glutes, the hamstring strength to come all the way down to the floor. Or all removing the blocks. Bring your lower back to floor. Bring your knees to touch to counter. Maybe take a long exhalation. If you want to take Shavasana, please take Shavasana. Be there for 5-10 more minutes. I highly recommend that. I'm going to end my practice right here. So I'll push the floor away and then come up into a meditation seat. So you can cross your legs if that feels okay. Bring your hands to your knees or hands to prayer and just seal your practice. Allow this information that you created, that you received, this wisdom to come to your heart, to fill up your headspace so that you can continue to create this healing and this preciousness that we get to experience on the mat every single time. So, with a lot of respect, honor, love, compassion, seal your practice. Trust that you're planting the seeds. Trust that the answers will come. And in the meantime, we have all of these tools to be okay, more than okay with um, whatever it is that we're going through. Thank you all so much for being here today, and namaste.